What makes a great DM? What separates Chris Perkins and Matt Mercer from the Simpsons comic book guy? It's not as much as you'd think. And today we're going to be going over 5 tips on how to be a great dungeon master. I'm Zach, and this is Fail to Crit. I was once asked what made me think I could be a DM. And my reply? I bought a Dungeon Master guide. It's really that simple, and don't let the gatekeepers fool you. That's why you can buy the book. You don't need a degree, you don't have to pass a class, you just have to want it. But the truly great DMs, they feed that want. They embrace that want. Firstly, be humble. A common trait amongst anyone who is great at anything is they always remain a student. They always want to learn more. They never let themselves think they know everything or that they're perfect. Now, you don't need the intensity of Michael Jordan or Serena Williams, but a great DM will always be looking for feedback from their players, even though criticism is difficult to hear. So stay humble. Ask what they liked. Ask what they didn't like. Be self-aware. Watch videos, and if you see a critique of something you do, be open to change. Try to emulate the DMs you like, and be willing to change your style. Number 2, be passionate. Being a DM is a labor of love, and it's that love that can make up for so much shortcomings. You don't have to be a perfect public speaker if you're passionate about a subject. Passion can overtake your shyness and embolden you, or even motivate you to create massive worlds of your own. It's passion that will keep you motivated after spending hours on a plot hook just to have your players ignore it and do something else. And it's the passion that will keep you dreaming of your game throughout the day. It's passion that will ultimately make you a great storyteller. Be observant. Really watch the game. Watch what gets your players excited. Watch when your players tune out or pick up their cell phone. Watch when a player is getting ignored or when someone is stepping on them. You are playing with other players, each one unique. Being attuned to what excites them and what entices them is the key to mastering this craft. D&D is collaborative storytelling. You need to recognize each player in your game. When you really start to look and see when your players are loving the game, that's when you can build around those moments and your game will come alive. Be reasonable. Behind the storytelling is the rules. It's the rules that make this a game and not just friends playing pretend. And you are charged with learning and knowing the rules, not just the game mechanics, but the rules of your world. And although it may feel like it's your world, it's not. As soon as you sit down with your players, you invite them to imagine it. And in that moment, you have to let go. And as hard as it is, it's their story now too. Even though you're the one putting in most of the work. You have to be reasonable, and when they have a great idea, not rule against it out of spite. It's okay if your puzzle was outwitted. It's okay if your bad guy was easily tricked. It's more important that the players feel rewarded for their creativity than it is that your villain was tough. You can always make another villain, but it's really hard to get back that player inspiration once you've crushed it with a hard no. There will inevitably come a point where the rules are vague. The description is unclear. But a great DM always sides with fun. He's always looking for ways to include the players in their rulings. And if it turns out that there was a bad call or something was broken, a great DM can retcon it and fix it later because he's earned the players' trust. Be an advocate. It's hard for any great DM not to talk about D&D, not to share the stories about their players. You should be an advocate, not just for the game, but in the game itself too. A great DM describes the world, grows the flora and fauna, builds the traps and puzzles, and creates the strife in the villains. But a great DM is never the villain. This can be a hard line to draw, but a DM should never be the antagonist. The party should never feel like it's us versus the DM. And once that impression is created, it's incredibly hard to change. It will ultimately ruin any campaign and lead to empty seats at your table. Even if a party fails, a great DM should always be rooting for the players. So, what did I miss? What'd you think? Hopefully this helps if you're a new DM trying to get inspired. Please bonus action the like button. It really does help us out. We're trying to grow the game and the channel. And just remember that every new person who sees a D&D video might be a new player at your table or even running a game near you. So please, like, share, subscribe. I'll try and roll better the next time. See you then.